Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome now, Stock Trade. Just getting here, some stuff set up. My last video, I got some feedback. It was a little too mean. I was a little too hard on you guys, so I went ahead and I deleted the video. So I'm going to be saying a little bit of the some of the stuff I said before, but we're going to talk about Counterpart. But I just want to say, like, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but Wall Street doesn't care about you. Okay, right? Wall Street doesn't care about your feelings. That was the whole point. But I'll say it much more nicely. Uh, um, so, Shant's number first on the list here. Great to be alive. Just got back from a double bypass. Went into the clinic with concerns of chest pain, and December 2nd, and then was sent to the emergency room. 99% blockage. Schedule your heart scans today. So, yeah, that's definitely look after yourselves, guys, right? If you have all the money in the world and you have health problems, you're broke. Those are the words from Chamath, actually. He said that. So I was like, wow, I agree. So I'm working on it too. It's tough. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'm happy you're here. So we can, you can live long so you can enjoy those covered calls and cash secured puts, man. Like, come on, guys, work out, be healthy so we can milk those damn options chain, okay? Because it's coming. Always late, typical of a doctor. I'm so sorry, guys. A heart surgeon saved my ass here, and he can be late. No, man, it's yeah, man. No, I'm glad you're here. Good. Probably took you to the cath lab. Who knows? So right now, I'm not in my typical area. I'm actually in San Antonio, Texas. So we are live from San Antonio, Texas. So to all my Texas Lifetime Access members, to all my Texas subscribers, I love you. I know you guys, and we got some Lifetime Access members in San Antonio. And really, honestly, I was just at West Michigan, Grand Rapids, and one Lifetime Access member messaged me saying, "Hey, man, that's my area. I live, a few minutes from there," and it's really cool. It's really cool, the community that we built. We are everywhere, baby. So love it. Let's see here. Yeah, I hate my boss, Al. Let's hope the next few years let us all move on to the more fulfilling paths. Absolutely. Yeah, one of my Lifetime Access members, someone complained. You're not gonna believe this. Someone complained that he was looking at his phone too much, looking at the stock price. Then they told his boss, like, "Are you serious? Like, what a loser, you freaking snitch, right? Seriously? Don't worry. In the next couple of years, record that video and we can put it on YouTube. Record that video. That'll be a great testimonial. That'll be a great testimonial video. Just imagine, hey guys, I'm part of Al Stock Trades. I'm about to quit my job because of my, asshole boss. Hey, I'm going to call him John. Hey, John, I quit. You That's what I say. Join Al Stock Trades. Oh my god, dude. That I have not seen, and it's real too, because this will be like a real video too. I've never seen that. And it's that's fun, man. That's gonna be fun. Life is good, guys. Life is good. When you put God first and you share knowledge, the limit, there is no limit. There is no limit. You guys are awesome, right? Sorry, I guess I was trying to put everything in time. I was a little late, so that's probably why I looked serious. Excellent marketing and poor product will win an excellent product and a poor market. Oh, there it is. The most obvious place. Yes. Absolutely. Good. PR is important. Ask Steve Jobs if money helped him. There it is. Absolutely. It's not all about money. Absolutely. I love the comments. All right. So, We're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. I learned that in high school, right? I was a snitch. You know, that was the nerdy guy. Uh, yeah, I was the good boy. Yeah, I was a snitch. Okay, so let's see here. How do we? It's, usually I have this on my left, so it's my right. So I have to see. We got it. All right, we got it. Okay. So yeah, so not too bad. Clove's up 4.51% now. It's probably gonna. I don't know. It hasn't simmered down yet. So back on November 17, I went ahead and posted this on the Research Edge. I said, "Hey, we're entering a symmetrical triangle." The stock price was around $2.42. This was November 17, and I said that it looks like a symmetrical triangle, mini, very small one, I would say. Looks like a breakoff point sometime in December. October, we were up. November losses were taken this month. So most likely year and Christmas rally. And, so Christmas rally. So that was on November 17. Isn't this part of the Research Edge? I like to, I'm going to be more active on it, but I tend to post if there's something important. So if you go ahead and look at December 17, 18, it's like right around here. So we had a drop. Actually, I posted it right around here. And since then, we got 18%. And if you would have taken advantage from this low and doubled down, it's 28%. So definitely, these are kind of really easy. Since this is like retail owned, you could really take advantage of this RSI and MACD and really take advantage, and you can graph these and look at this symmetrical triangle. I think November, we were right here. So we were like right around here, and it was falling and dropping, and then now it's basically broke out. On the hourly chart, we're actually over the 200-day. Now hourly, I don't really give too much weight on it. Now, granted, you can do the 4-hour. 4-hour carries some weight, and 4 hours are about to potentially break off of the 200-day. I would say we reject it, and once we got, maybe, who knows, we get a triple rejection, and then we can go on out. But it depends. We might break out, but we could see on the 4-hour chart we're like right there, touching that 200-day, which is technically 281. So I don't know if we're going to break out of that. But again, this is like forecasting. I don't. No one knows. But I like to use a daily chart. So from the daily perspective, you can see, we're broke out of the symmetrical triangle, which we talked about. And then, yeah. So now let's, put away the tea leaves, and let's actually go ahead and talk about some stuff. Now, really quickly, we have our Black Friday sale. Take advantage. It will be expiring in 3 days. I believe like on Sunday night. It's like, Sunday night. Sometime around that. It'll be expiring. So take advantage. Black Friday coupon code will get you $1,500 off lifetime access from everything we offer, whether that's the Discord, the stock terminal, the data that we have. You get lifetime access to all the data that you could ever imagine, and lifetime access to our group. So take advantage. This will be ending. I've been traveling. I was going to end it a lot sooner, but I started it later. So I just want to kind of let it sit for a little bit, and then this will be ending on Sunday night. So in about 3 days, the sale will be over. We will be increasing prices in the new year. So it'll be like $5,000. And then yeah, so just definitely take advantage. $1,500 is no joke. $1,500 off is no joke. So take advantage. So we talked about this. Now let's talk about this unmatched Medicare Advantage performance. So we'll break this down. So we'll just kind of go from the top, from left to right, and we'll scan the document like a zigzag pattern. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll talk about some misconceptions on stock twits. But first, I want, then we'll talk about what Peter was saying, then what Blaine was saying. But first, I wanted to mention something. So a couple days ago, I went ahead and I got a friend request on LinkedIn from Ruth, Krista Pulaski, beautiful name. So I was like, "Oh, we have 34 mutual connections. Who is this person?" I love connecting with people. So this person, she's considered a top voice. She has over 18,000 followers on LinkedIn, which is actually pretty big. Having a lot of followers on LinkedIn is actually pretty big. So she's, her bio is transforming healthcare through value-based care, an expert strategy, innovation, equity-driven solutions, proven leader in delivering patient-centered outcomes, which is like exactly what I like to invest in, and which is what exactly CMS is heading. So she has like all the buzzwords that we're looking for. The question is, she sent me a request, and I was like, that's really cool because like I'm not a leader in this space. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not a leader when it comes to like this value-based care, right? I'm like a nobody. I'm like I understand it, but I'm not an expert. I know where we're going. Um, but like I'm just an investor, right? Um, so I went ahead and I accepted the request. Uh, um, and but something else happened too. So uh so the question is like, why is she connecting with me? That's really cool. And I'm trying to like understand it mentally, like, why? Because this girl's pretty big, right? And I'll kind of explain to you kind of my philosophy, but let me just kind of, or like my hypothesis. So she went ahead and connected with me, and then we got another connection. And this is Melissa. She works at CMS Innovation, and she's connected with Ruth, which is the same lady as this lady. Interesting, huh? Now, who is this Melissa lady? So you remember when CMS announced the access model? Well, guess what? I'm now connected with her, and she's leading the model lead. She's leading the whole access model innovation center. Like she's the boss, right? So it's interesting now. I'm connected with her. She's connected with Ruth. Ruth just sent me a request. So that's pretty cool. And it reminds me a little bit of Bill Ackman. Now you might be asking, like, what? What is all that? So again, I'm no expert uh, um, in this field. I'm not. However, I am gonna be a future doctor. In fact, I think I can safely put the MD name now soon behind my name, which is kind of crazy, huh? MD, right? That's kind of weird. Uh, so, uh, so obviously, I mean, I am an expert when it comes to. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I'm no expert. I'm like a basic medical knowledge. I haven't specialized. You see what, like in medicine, we're really humbled by our knowledge, and we know what we know. We know I don't know shit, right? I mean, like I know, like if you compare me to the general population, yeah, of course, night and day. But the point is do I have a set of expertise that's quite unique? Yeah, of course. I know the business side and I know the medicine side. So what you can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm slowly entering this arena, this field of advocacy, right? So from the perspective of me connecting with her, like there's all these connections, right? Well, she's the one that sent me a request, which was right, but for me to accept that request, I'm requesting it from the perspective of me as a patient advocate, right? Then an investor, and I make it clear when I speak to these people from CMS, and when I try to, I wouldn't say lobby because I'm not paid to do this, but I have a financial incentive, and I make it clear that I'm an investor in Clover Health. So they know I'm an investor, right? I make it clear. If they don't know, then I don't know. I don't know if I put it on my forehead. I'm an investor. So, the point is I'm doing things a bit more subtly than Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman's kind of in, I want to get a seat at the board and let's go. He's an activist. I'm not an activist like him, but I've learned from him. Uh, and if you think I'm good looking, man, nah, man, I'm not. I'm nothing compared to Bill Ackman. Dude, Bill Ackman's sexy, dude. Michelle has a crush on Bill Ackman. I get jealous. No, so anywho, no, he's good looking, and I learn a lot from him, and he's been a good mentor. But you can start to see how I'm entering this field in terms of CMS policy, and you might be asking like, why am I doing this? I did the same thing with energy, right? I got to know Kelsey Warren. He's a billionaire, right? Energy transfer, right? I entered that field, and I enter it very, very subtly, right? Because I like to know what I'm investing in, right? Now, why am I doing this for CMS? Well, it's very clear. Healthcare is the last thing to innovate, and healthcare is about. So usually we see hospitals are the last people to spend money on innovation. Um, Usually it's industry. Well, now what you're basically starting to see hospitals spend the most on AI. Hospitals now are spending millions of dollars. I'm noticing them. I'm seeing these different hospitals around the country, and I'm seeing that they're spending a lot of money on healthcare, AI, and I know where we're headed, and I want to be a part of that because healthcare is the second largest component of the S&P 500. Now, I'm sorry. Um, um, I'm reading the comments. Let me just make sure I if I miss your comment, I'm sorry. You accomplished a great deal in your life, those. No, I appreciate it, man. No, and I started from nothing. And you see the professional and personal development that I've had in terms of I'm sharing with you guys what I'm doing. And yeah, that might be awkward for a lot of these folks that are connecting with me. They're like, well, shit, man. You're gonna tell people. Well, not all things. Obviously, if there things are important, like I'm not gonna, for folks, yeah. But like, someone said, hey, don't be an activist. They are the enemy of the people. Well, I have a counter argument with you, and my argument is, what am I doing right now? I'm sharing with you how I'm entering this field, and I'm being open with you guys so you can teach your children. I'm sharing knowledge. I'm sharing what I'm doing. You think Chamath does this? You think Chamath? We only have 29,000 days in this world. That's all we get. Take the average life expectancy, 78.5 years, multiplied by 365 days. That's around 28 to 29,000 days that you have. That's it. That's the only days we have left. I don't give a shit about money. At the end of the day, I'm going to be dead. You think I'm going to be able to spend that money? So what is the only thing that makes sense? We'll just enjoy it. Am I going to enjoy a piece of cake by myself, or I want to share the cake with everybody else? I wish you were all here right now, and all these empty tables that I have right now. I'm in this club, hotel. It's like a nice club. Um, I wish you were all here right now, sitting down with me and enjoying this life that I have. And we will have summits. We will have all these things. Okay. But that's what I find meaningful. Is being able to share. I mean, what else makes sense? What are you gonna do? Like look at the ocean for the rest of your life? Like what the hell are you gonna do? Okay, fine. You want to be a player and like get a lot of girls. Okay, at the end of the day, it's gonna saturate. You're not. It's just if you just look at the mechanical part of things, it's really there's nothing to it, right? It's this the nothing. So what makes sense? And for me, is being able to just enjoy sharing it with people. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? Sharing it. I mean, look at how the trees share the oxygen together, the nutrients together. It's part of life. It's beautiful. You don't see a tree, excuse my language, but a tree like in the corner and taking all the nutrients. It's sharing it. Anyway, that's my philosophy. So I would say I'm doing it quite differently because the point is I if I win, I want all of you to win, right? Because which is quite unique, I would say. It makes sense to my mind. It's unique because I don't see other people doing it. Other people are very quiet about their success, like a little ant that found a bunch of food that doesn't want to tell its people. Even ants go to the pack and go tell, look what I found. Humans are a very interesting species. They like to keep it to themselves, even when they have like 5,000 days left in this world. They have 5,000 days left, 10,000 days left, less, and they will still keep it to themselves. That is weird. That is such a stupid species. So if you're like that, try to go beyond that and kind of live a life that I'm living because it's really nice. I love listening to you. Keep me motivated. Absolutely, I appreciate you. Personally, I've never seen anybody coffin full of money. No, yeah, exactly. I'm, maybe. Oh, actually, no, I have. The mummies. They had a bunch of gold, and they like stuffed them with gold, and then like 100 years later or 500 years later, they were robbed, and they could no one. Yeah, they were robbed. So, yeah. Uh, You're my most watched YouTuber. No, I appreciate you guys. Now I saw that you guys were showing me your stats, and there's people that watch me, and I understand that I don't take that lightly. I try to again, if I win, I want all of you guys to win, right? That's the whole point. Because again, I don't really see any value. Listen, guys, my listen, I've made I've made a lot of money in my life, um, and then on top of it, which is insane, on top of it, my future wife, her dad has a shit ton of money, and so like I can just relax right now. I could just, you know, my father-in-law has more money than Chamath, which is like insane, right? Which is insane. Um, and it's funny because I haven't even taken one thing from him. Like I haven't like, you know what I mean? Like you would think that I would just be like all over that and just but I'm trying to build my own thing. I'm trying to build my own people and my own family. And when I say family, I'm talking about all of you guys, like lifetime access community. I'm trying to build this because people don't think like this. And I'm going to show you the value of how thinking like this can actually do something. So yeah, okay. Um, and very quickly here, just to be clear, I've been active my entire life, never obese, and only slightly overweight at times. Heart disease can take anyone. Get a heart scan and eat healthy. Heart disease runs in my family. Exactly. Be careful, guys. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Okay. I'm going to get one myself, right? Be careful. All right. So now let's go ahead. Now we went ahead and kind of talked about just this whole transcription of just kind of what's happening in the background in my life and kind of how I'm navigating this with CMS and how I'm politely talking respectfully. I'm not an expert. Melissa's the expert. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who's going to be taking care of patients, who sees a software, which I like, that I want to use. I want to use this software, and I want everyone and every physician out there to get it. That's it. And yes, I'm an investor. I will benefit from this tremendously. I'll make over $100 million because of this investment, right? And it's okay because it's going to help people, and I'm transparent about it. I'm not like lying. Like, hey, yeah, I benefit from this, but like, look at the data. You know, I'm also going to be an MD. What do we do when we raise our left hand or right hand? I like the left hand because it's the heart, right? Do no harm, right? That is the beautiful, like the crescent shape of being a doctor. Do no harm. So, I don't think I'm doing harm. So with that, let's go ahead and analyze what's going on with Counterpart. So just a couple days ago, or yesterday, a couple days ago, they went ahead and mentioned this article. They published this article, or like they put an SEC document out. The title is "Unmatched Medicare Advantage Performance Built for Clinicians." The only unified clinical technology platform for managing quality, risk, and total cost of care. These are huge. Okay. Continuing to enable superior results for Clover Health. I'm going to read from left to right. So 1,500 points, approximate basis point MCR differential for returning members whose PCP use CA versus those who do not. So this here is them pretty much basically saying, on average, they save approximately 15% of total costs. To the right, they say, as member cohorts mature, so does MCR performance differential. Year 1, 8% savings. Year 2, 12% savings. Year 3, 18% savings. That's new data. Year 4, 20% savings. That's new data. But I already knew this. In fact, they can save up to 30%. Why? Around 28%, 28 to 30%. Now, how do I know that? Because if you look at the data for Clover Health and look at their medical cost ratio from like 2021 to you can see it went from 108% down to like 72%, which is insane. So you can see it's knocking on the doors of 30%, right? But, from this perspective, they're being humble, which is what I like to see. But you can ultimately see 20% here. Again, nothing new for a lot of us that have really done due diligence, but it's good to see it on a graph in communication with people. Then now we go to the left here. It says number one HEDIS score nationwide for PPO MA plan across a wide network of non-employed physicians without capitation. So what does that mean? So HEDIS is a quality score metric. Obviously, they're the number one rated plan in the nation for 2 consecutive years. Now, why is that important? Because HEDIS quality score measures are going to be integrated into star performance, which is obviously going to raise their stars, especially because they're called clinical stars. In terms of phone call administrative complaints, that's going to be removed from the 12 administrative removable tasks in CMS in the future. So we already know from the perspective of stars, Clover Health is pretty much at where CMS is going to. So they're pretty much already there, and the market is about to basically skate to them. Okay. You can read more about it on their white papers. Now, here's the other new information they gave us. And rapidly expanding to more third-party customer users. Adoption. Hundreds of live third-party customer clinicians, not patients, clinicians. Hundreds of live third. So I don't know what hundreds is. I know hundreds is not 100. It's like 200, maybe 300. Who knows? I don't know, but I know it's greater than 100. Representing an increase of 450% lives year over year. So live on CA, right? Again, these are clinicians. These are from the perspective of clinicians. 80% live on CA in the last 3 months. So let's go ahead and break this out. Again, hundreds of clinicians. Now, someone on StockTwits said hundreds of clinicians need tens of thousands. Okay. So this person, unfortunately, may not understand how many doctors there are in the United States. Again, there's a lot of folks that again, you guys don't get it. I will explain. So on average, there's about 1 million doctors. That's it. 1 million, around 1 million. There's only 1 million doctors in all of the United States. It takes a long time to be a doctor. I am one of 1 million. Okay. Wait, there's more. You think all doctors are primary care doctors? Absolutely not. You got surgeons, you got other doctors, right? So primary care doctors, there's about 279,000 primary care doctors, PCPs. So around 279,000. So when you say tens of thousands and all these things, understand that there's only 279,000 doctors in total that are primary care, right? And how many of them are actually outpatient versus inpatient hospitalists? That's a whole different story. So it's even smaller. So there's a lot of misunderstanding with a lot of retail investors, and it's okay because alpha will be consumed from the educated that would be given by the uneducated. And the uneducated here will be folks that unfortunately just don't understand reality. They think that everything is plentiful when in reality it's not. We have a physician shortage, especially in rural health and rural America, which the big beautiful bill from Donald Trump gave $50 billion to. And what is Clover Health known to help? Rural health doctors. Are you starting to see the overall connection? So, from that perspective, now let's look at this. If you look at the physician, they said that we've seen a lot of these software tools, and I have. And this is by far the best one. You can tell it was designed by doctors because it is easy to use. And that's the biggest thing. A lot of these software people, they make all these tools and stuff, but they don't understand the front end. They do the back end. Same thing with Al stock trades. When I created the stock terminal, I designed it from the perspective of a retail investor. I am a retail investor. I built it for someone, for myself, which is why as soon as you have members sign in, they can easily start calculating their own intrinsic value. It was built by a retail investor and for a retail investor. Software was built by doctors and to be used for doctors. And they've said that countless of times. And now doctors are seeing it. And the adoption is insane. You can see here, 80%. You have a very strong adoption. Interested in learning more? You can contact him here if you're a clinician, I assume. So from that perspective, that's pretty good. Now, let's say there's 200 doctors or 300 doctors. On average, 80% live on the last 3 months. Again, it's tough to say, but on average, a primary care doctor, sees about maybe 12 to 15 patients per day. And they work on average, let's say 3 to 4 days a week, but let's call it 4 days. So every week they see about 60 patients a week. Multiply it, let's say by 4 weeks, they see around, on average, 240 patients a month. Now, they get, let's say on average, a month off. So let's say they're only working 11 months out of the year. They get 2,640 patients. Now, let's assume we take a 30% cut for margin of error calculation. So we take 70% of this. So on average, each patient panel is around 1,448. Let's just lower it and let's make another 200 patient cut. And let's say 1,500 patients per physician, right? You see how I'm undervaluing this? I'm like cutting this by a lot. We're cutting this by a lot. So 50, and for all the primary care doctors, we have primary care doctors that are part of Lifetime Access. Please chime in. Tell us your clinical volume. So anywho, 1,500, and let's say they have 250 physicians. They say hundreds. Let's call it 250. So that's about 375,000 lives under management. Okay. Again, I think this number is going to grow, right? But let's call it like this. So if we do this, and let's say each patient is $10 per month, that's about $37 million I'm sorry, that's not 3.7 million. 3,750,000 times 12, that's about $45 million, which if you look at open evidence, they're trading at 122 price to sales. So if you divide this by 1,000 and times one, no, it's 4.5 million. If you multiply that by 122, I kind of confused myself here. Let me multiply that by 12. They're making this much money. They're making 45 million per year. 45 million. So to do that, then these numbers have to be in millions. So now we do 45 multiplied by 122. That's 5.4 billion. Divided that by 1,000. Now we're converting to billions. So that means that stock price goes to $10.98 if it's $10 per month. And that's only off of 250 doctors, assuming 1,500 patients each. And we did a lot of cuts. Now, hold on. What happens if they get 1,000 doctors? Well, then you start getting into the 1.5 million lives. And once you start getting to 1.5 million lives,
1,500,000
multiplied by 10 times 12, that's
180 million.
180 million. Divide that by a million, you got 180. Multiplied, let's say, for the highest evaluation, that's about $21 billion. Times 2, that's around the stock price, about 43. So again, it's all speculation. We don't know. But I'm just giving you an example of what could manifest in the next 4 years. 1 in a million is so funny. Yep, we answered this one. Definitely physician shortage. My wife is a neurologist, and her schedule for new patients is 6 months from now. You can see this, right? So there's a huge shortage. So I can't help had hot wine. Oh, hot wine. That sounds interesting. I've had that before. What about Counterpart International? Absolutely. So what does he mean by that? So Peter went ahead and posted this. My wife has 64 patients a week. There it is. So what do we calculate? 64 patients per week. That's 64 divided by 12. And these are neurology patients, right? That's about, I'm sorry, what do I mean by 12? 64 divided by a 5-day work week. That's about 12.8 patients per day. Again, that's right. So if you take that per week multiplied, let's say by 4, and let's say multiplied by 12, she's seeing about 3,000 patients. Let's say she takes about 2 months off. I don't know how many months she takes off. So that means let's say she only works 10 months out of the year. Let's say she takes 2 months off. That's still 2,500 patients, right? So again, you can start to see the math here and how this adds up. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, yes, I'll try to figure out what's Counterpart International. So Peter said this. He said, Counterpart Assistant Technology's application is beyond Medicare Advantage. We built Counterpart to help any clinician take better care of their patients, regardless of age, which is huge for the Medicare population, could be lower, condition or location. So that shows you the total addressable market, the TAM. That's why it isn't limited to Medicare Advantage. It was designed to manage chronic disease, and chronic disease isn't just Medicare problem. And he's right. Yeah, it isn't. Duh, right? So we focus on Medicare because it's just a high need, and then like patients really have a really intimate interaction with their doctors because you're about that age, right? But the platform is flexible. It has already been tested internationally, even across languages. Wherever there's chronic disease, Counterpart can help. That's what it was built for. So ultimately, you can see that the total addressable market here is huge. And again, Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, the most valuable company in the world with $4.5 trillion on average of market cap, said that the next level and next iteration of AI is the applications of AI. And what is Clover doing? Right? The fridges made Coca-Cola. I'm looking for the next new Coca-Cola, right? Large language models have made Palantir better and now is going to make Clover better. I'm looking for the next Coca-Cola, and I feel like Clover Health is the next new Coca-Cola because why am I saying fridges and Coca-Cola? Can you drink a hot Coke or a hot beer? Right? Apparently, according to Shant, he can drink hot wine. That's quite interesting. But if I give him a hot beer, he won't be able to drink it. If I give him a hot Coke, he won't be able to drink it. Right? Or he might just go like this and just drink it. But the point is the mothering technology, you would think it would be bigger. No, Coca-Cola's market cap is $300 billion, bigger than any fridge company. But fridges, Samsung makes it, GE makes it. But just like how like OpenAI makes ChatGPT, Clyde makes Anthropic. Or Anthropic makes Clyde. Elon made Grok. Facebook made Meta AI. I can drink hot wine. Europeans drink hot beer. What? You're right, Al. Next is the applications, 100%. But forget that. Let's go back to the most important part. Europeans drink hot beer. Are they like? Are they? I guess like what's the European word? Are they mad? That is crazy, dude. Holy shit. Drink hot beer. Oh, let's drink like maybe their beer tastes better than ours. Ours tastes like piss, right? But when it's cold, it tastes good. Yeah, they don't like cold beer, especially Germans. What? This is all news to me. Wow. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. Ugh, sounds nasty, bro. Ugh. I like it cold. I like it so cold. Then here you have Blaine. He's like, listen up and shut up. He didn't say shut up, but listen up. 1,500 basis point MCA differential. Number one heat is nationwide for the second year in a row. I mean, it's good. It's just good. I can drink warm beer. You guys are all weird. You guys are all weird. Who? I can't drink. Right. I'm mostly German. Oh, there. I didn't know this. Hey, you learn something new every day. And now Germans drink warm beer. That's interesting. Appreciate you, Doug. Yeah, that's insane. Now you got more followers now for Counterpart. Pretty good. So we talked about all this. Talked about that. Take advantage of the Black Friday sale. I'm just going to do this again really quickly. Just really quickly. It's all about net income. Okay. So if you look at here, I'm just going to zoom down here. This is Tesla. So I put Tesla up here. So, you can see a Tesla. I'm just zooming in so you can see. By 2020, all three turned positive. It turned net income. So what happened in 2020? After 2020, it went from like $16 and it exploded. You might say, well, every stock exploded in 2020. Okay, that's somewhat true. Let's look at Palantir. When did Palantir become profitable in net income? 2023, right? All three of them, right? So 2023 is when all three of them became positive. So let's look what happened to Palantir in 2023. 2023 it was around $6. Nobody wanted it, and then all of a sudden it exploded, right? All right, let's look at other ones. Let's look at AMD. AMD, it's loading. Our software is loading it. There it is. Here's AMD. 2016 and 2019 and 2018. So by 2019, all three turned positive. So let's look what happened to AMD by 2019. 2019, boom, explosion. Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at Carvana, right? CVNA. Okay. All three turned positive in 2023. That's easy. So let's go to Carvana, CVNA. It's funny because Carvana is quite interesting. It was high, then it dropped all the way down low in 2023, down to $4. And then it exploded because it turned profitable in 2023. And it went bing, bing, bong, boom. Right now, SoFi kind of skipped the free cash flow part. And it pretty much said we're going to be negative, but the only thing we're going to be positive 2024. So net income for SoFi was profitable in 2024. So now if you look at 2024 for SoFi, you could see here is 2024, right? There was a little bit here, right? And then boom, mini explosion here, right? So so you could see ultimately the point. And then also, if you don't believe me, that's fine. We could look at Humana, right? Humana, there's nothing. You don't see it. But there's something called extend history, which then brings you to 1990, the information. So if you look at Humana, you could see it went from being profitable, unprofitable, and then you could see by 2001 they had the triple dragon because for FCF to be positive, OCF has to be positive. The thing is, they've always had a positive OCF, operational cash flow. So by 2001, they pretty much had their triple dragon, right? Because they had their net income. So by 2001, let's see what happened for Humana. Here's 2000. And look at that. And this is the dot-com crash. And look at that. Boom, explosion. Obviously, now you have some disruption. Okay. So you could see, well, before we even say that, now let's just put in Clover. So for Clover, they only got 2 out of the 3. They got the OCF, which is good, and the FCF, but they don't have net income. Humana had net income. SoFi had net income. Tesla had net income. Carvana has net income. Clover has not had net income. But Clover just recently said in their Q3 2025 that they're going to be net income positive in 2026. And hopefully that carries on after. So what happened in 2024? At least two of them became positive. So in 2024, two of them became positive. So at least we probably got some love, and we did. Here was 2024. Two of them became positive. The stock went up 653%. Now it's calibrating. Now it's only up 333%. Oh my God, right? But guess what? It still is negative net income. Are they close? Look at this. The red is net income. They're about to break up to the upside. You see how they were very negative, and now they're about to break up positive. The green here, you see how it highlights it? The software highlights it. It shows you that that's the first time it flipped. Okay. So you can see how this is all mathematically modeled. Okay. So the point is this software is available for lifetime access members. Is that amazing? This software, normally, if you want to get a Bloomberg terminal, you would have to pay like $35,000 a year. Dude, imagine how much the software would cost. It's lifetime access. And now there's a huge sale that you can take advantage of that's going to end in 3 days. So I don't know what you guys are smoking, but take advantage. Take advantage, right? So Black Friday sale, it's going to be ending in 3 days. But as you can see, in terms of the overall math, if you remove emotions out of this, because the stock doesn't care how long you're holding for. It cares about earnings, right? The stock doesn't care about you. That's the world we live in, right? Wall Street doesn't care. You could be holding for 5 years and then you sell at 250 and then next year it goes up to like 10, 15 bucks and you sold. Well, sorry, go back to your W-2 job. Hopefully, maybe in 20 years, you might be able to be still alive to be able to get the next opportunity and wait another 5, 10 years. Or just educate your children. You know, I guess they say those who teach can't. Isn't that terrible? I learned that from a movie, and that was one of the drill sergeants, and that was sad. I was like, ooh, that was a bad one. But and it's so sad though. Most people that teach in academia, like from professors, especially business, rarely enough do you have teachers that actually are multimillionaires that have done the job. Well, you can see I've done the job, and I'm sharing you kind of how I'm doing it. But yeah, so let me go to the comments real quick, and then we'll go from there. Should mention that my wife is seeing mostly new patients. Oh my God, these are new too. New, not even returning. Wow. She just became a physician last year. Her colleagues are seeing 15 to 16 patients a day. New 1 hour patient slot followed up by 39 minutes. Isn't that insane? So you could see kind of the situation. So when you see like this guy saying, we need tens of thousands of them. Okay. Yeah. So 30 minutes. Yeah. Something I read recently was the slow death of Epic Systems. Some post by, okay. I need to look at that too. Very eye-opening. The legacy systems are not keeping up with the technology advances. I agree. Stock terminal worth it. Joined earlier this year. And I'm glad that you joined. Welcome to the family. Lifetime access. And on top of it, you get to basically take this and transfer it over to your children. Come on. Get out of here, right? Again, you start to see, once you kind of put all these numbers in, you start to realize they're like, this guy is not doing this for the money. This doesn't make sense. He could easily make more money on this. He's not doing it. So what am I doing it for? I think you guys can put it together. And I guess once this stock becomes a triple dragon, and then you'll see the success, you'll start to realize why I'm on this video right now and kind of doing this. It's kind of self-explanatory, but sometimes it takes people a few years to figure it out. In any case, that's all I have for you guys. Appreciate you all. I think we're doing pretty good. So let's see what, Clover somehow is still hanging 278. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, no, FOMC, all those good stuff. Yeah, no, exactly, Doug. Know what you hold. Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. And take advantage. Black Friday, baby. Be ending soon. And yep, I'll see you the next one, guys. Have a nice day. Let's put on the little music here.